to the mighty Trigon, the smallest surface in combat sports. This isn't your average combat sport. Only 3 sides, only 3 corners, 60 degrees each. 90% of our fights end in a knockout. And it all goes down inside the mighty Trigon. This is Bear.
Welcome to the Original Fighter's Voice. I'm your host, Don McGuire. You know, it's kind of delightful that we get to call ourselves BKB, Bare Knuckle Boxing, you know, because the man, James the Truth Connelly, is a BKB fighter. Champ, I am so honored and privileged to have you on the show today. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Thanks. Really appreciate it.
Well, you know, we had you on last time and things didn't go through, you know.
Yeah.
And so you basically had to have back-to-back camps. Where does that put James Connelly right now? And how forthwith are you going into this fight in Wolverhampton against LT Smash Nelson?
Well, for the fight before they got cancelled, I'd done 11 weeks for that, and then come back for a week and a half, and I'm now on to an 8 week. So I'm 5 weeks into an 8 week camp. But as far as me, like, I never use the terms, this is the fittest I've ever been, or in a camp or something like that. But I'm super fit. I'm super ready. You know, I've had no days off as far as like doing anything that's like good. You know, obviously I don't go out and party. I don't drink alcohol and stuff like that. So I just continue to just carry on with the training camp with LT in my mind, you know. And yeah, and to be honest with you, with it being longer and stuff like that, I only can see it as a benefit to me, if you know what I mean. I was ready in January, but having this extra 8 weeks, only can be beneficial to me, you know.
Yeah. You know, I got to throw this comment up here real quick because he was an intricate part of the other company, BKB.
Joe Brown, yes, Joe Brown.
Yes, he says, yes, chaps. Big shout out from Joe. You know, I love Joe Brown. What he's doing is tremendous across the pond, and what you guys are doing is growing. You know, but yeah. You're the first fighter that I've had on my show, theoretically, since we've done the name change. How relevant is it for you to go back to the roots of BKB through the name change?
Well, we're not really going back to the roots, are we? It's a case of, you know, it's not gone back to a square ring and stuff like that. But don't get me wrong, like, I've got a lot of tracksuits, you see, a lot of BKB fight wear that I never got to wear before. So now I just pull all that fight wear back out now with the BKB on it, which is that's the only thing I saw from it, because realistically we still have 3-minute rounds. We still got to fight in the Trigon. You know, nothing's really changed in that aspect of it yet. I didn't mind whether it was called BYB or BKB, to be dead honest with you. And as far as Joe Brown's the one in the background that really helps the fighters out. That you don't like to mention much about it and stuff like that, but he's helped me out with my last fight with LT, sponsorship. He's helped me out this week as well with sponsorship, and he doesn't have to do these things. So a big shout out to Joe Brown and Jim Freeman Duff. You know what I mean? They are like, they're my go-to over here. When as far as bare knuckles concerned, they're the only two I've ever spoke to, you know. So it's big shout out to them too.
Well, you know, the reason why I asked you that way, because I knew I'd get it out of you, because you've been on my show before. You brought up the 3-minute rounds. You know, it was a hindrance here in the States, but it's not going to be a hindrance over there. How much relief, or how happy did it make you, James, that knowing that the rematch is now going to be on your home soil after this fiasco?
I didn't really care about that either, to be honest with you. You know, fighting on my own soil doesn't give me an extra charge to fight, or it's going to make me fight harder. I don't really care where I fight. You know, obviously I've done closer to over 200 tickets for this now, so there's going to be a lot of support there for me, and it got the chance for people that were so geared up for the fight in America. And when it got cancelled, there was all like, oh my God, we can come and see this fight now. So the fight was a bit bigger over here than it was actually in America, with people coming to see it. Because let's have it right, not many people know me in America as far as this. So me being over there, fighting over there, it wasn't something big, let me say. But Nelson coming over here now, you know, like everyone wants to say, I want to see that fight with the American and stuff like that. So it's got a lot more interest over here. But, you know, but as far as like me fighting in front of my home crowd and that's going to get me to victory and LT's going to be, LT doesn't care. I know he doesn't care. He went and fought Barry Jones in his hometown. So, you know, these things don't matter to me. You know, the black and white of it is I want to fight. So, you know, whether it was in America, whether it was in England, I'm good to fight, you know.
That's what I always loved about you. You always show up to fight, and you know the whole world wants to see this rematch. I've been freaking chomping at the bit for it. But before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and play the commercial so people can get the information and everything out there, and then we'll come back with Steve.
Bare Knuckle Boxing returns to Wolverhampton, England on Saturday, March 22nd for BYB 38, Wolves Brawl 2. Headlined by the long-awaited rematch between champion LT Smash Nelson and Birmingham's James the Truth Connelly for the BYB Super Middleweight Police Gazette Diamond Belt. Catch all the hard-hitting action live from the hangar. Visit BYBExtreme.com for tickets and information.
Now, seeing that commercial, you know, James, you're all right, Brain. Take me back to the first fight. You know, how much did that first fight sit in your heart the first couple of days, and how much were you wanting this rematch that's now in front of you?
You got to realise I had the fight. I was training to fight Desmond Green for 8 weeks before Nelson got pulled into that. So people got to realise that, like, just as much as the time Nelson got a chance to get ready for me, that's the only amount of time I had a chance to get ready for him. What, 3 weeks notice? So we had a lot to deal with, like dealing with his style and also him dealing with my style. But, you know, I've got used to it now. I know where he's coming from. You know, he's not the boxer per se. He's not the double jab right hand guy. You know what I mean? He wants to have a war, and he's trying to take you into deep waters to see if he can drown you, you know. And he's drowned most of these guys. But obviously, after the first match and stuff like that, remember, I've been there fighting, you know, just trying to win a fight. And from that, we got Police Gazette Fight of the Year and stuff like that. And a lot of attention come to that fight, you know. You know, it was a case of me fighting in America and then me getting out of there and cracking on with my career. I never understood that everyone really enjoyed that fight. You know, you got to realise, as a fighter, we're in there just trying to defend ourselves and try and win the fight. We don't understand how the viewers are looking at it, you know. People go, I can't believe that fight, what a war. I'm like, okay, now was it a war? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm just going round by round, you see. But obviously, with that attention from it now, obviously with the gearing up to it, makes it better for this fight, you know. And obviously, I look at it like now, like I'll only have big fights now. This has been my 13th bare knuckle fight. You know, I've been in this game for 7 years. You know, so yeah, like I want big fights, and this was the one. This is the fight at the moment. Like I said, in BYB, this is the fight that everyone wants to see right now, and I'm happy to oblige to be in it. You know, and no problem.
Most definitely, Steve.
Yeah, for fighting for so long, do you think this would be your biggest? What's up, James? Would this be your biggest fight to date?
Yeah. All my fights, you know, I have every single fight I have now. I look at the fight of my life. You know, I don't look at my other fights and go, that one was going to be harder than this. Forget all that. They're as hard as they are when they come. And where I'm at now in the sport, every fight's going to be a big fight. I've always had big fights. If you check my resume within bare knuckle, man, like all my fighters have become world champions, world champions. I haven't got one of them resumes where they've pulled in a guy that's got numerous losses or he's had him. I haven't. It's been hard from the get-go with me. So, and it's got me ready for these type of fights. So I've always been involved in big fights, fighting Jimmy Sweeney. You know, people are out fighting Dan Chapman. I fought Dan fighting Ricardo Franco. You know, there's more other fighters that I fought, Marley Church and Nathan DeCastro. These are all British champions when I fought them and stuff. So my level as opposition has been high ever since I've been involved in this game, and this is no exception. You know, these are the fights that get me. Right now, I'm in Spain at the moment. I'm in Spain right this second training. I'm out here for a week in training camp. You know, like you got to realise, like a fight like that would get me to come out to these places and sacrifice everything. You know, so I need these big fights. You know, and I'm glad to be involved in them. You know, like I wouldn't want any lower level fights. And LT's the so-called pound for pound number one at the moment. and you know, and that is that's the bearing, you know, and I want to go for that spot, you know, and I'm involved in that fight. So as far as the highest fight I've ever been in, yeah, this is the fight of my life, you know, the toughest fight.
Yeah, and how do you see it going different than the first fight?
Well, you know, different. Well, you know, I'm not going to let off anything we're going to do in there as far as that. But you got to understand, like, he's going to get a whole different me, you know, and maybe I'll get a whole different him. You know, this is what makes the fight so intriguing. You know, I'm just a fighter at the end of the day. When I say that, I don't predict the future. I've got all the confidence I'm going to win in this fight. But it's a fight at the end of the day, and it's a brutal fight against a very tough opponent. You know, I'm never going to cower. I'm never going to get hit in the face and be like this and give up. I'll just never give up. You know, so he's in for a hard fight straight away. How I want this fight to go depends on me on the night. You know, do I want a war with him? Do I want to outbox him? Do I want to do the both of them? You know, this is up to me on the night, how hard or how easy I want to make it myself. And to be honest with you, we've been doing this 5-month training camp. I'm ready for whatever. Whether he wants to war in the first round, whether he wants to box in the first round. This is the whole point of these training camps, you know, and I don't take it for granted, you know. I started training camp for this Nelson on October the 21st. We're now coming on to March 2025. You know, I've had no nights out, no alcohol drinking, no partying. My birthday was on Wednesday. That got sacrificed. All Christmas period, that got sacrificed. You know, and as I said before, they're the periods of time where I look at where Christmas, you with your family, birthday is my own day. Everyone else I don't really care about, but I've just give up them two within this training camp for this fight, you know. So I'm coming out all guns blazing, you know, and I ain't stopping. You know, this is a big, massive fight to me, and it's for all the marbles as well. So yeah, like trust me, man. Once that key gets turned in my back, it's gonna hard for it to pull it out, if you know what I mean. So once I flip that switch to fight, it's on.
Happy birthday! By the way.
Yeah, thank you.
You sound like you're ready to go right now, mate.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. You got to understand one thing. I was ready. 5 weeks ago? I was in 6 weeks ago. I was in Albuquerque. I was ready to go then. You know, I am a professional in this game because when I say that, I train so hard because I don't want to get my face smashed in. You know, like I don't look at this game. There's no look in this game. You train hard. You put the work in, and you get out what you put in. Especially in this game. You know, there's no me having days off here and too tired from training. I'm doing them runs. I'm out here right now, just sparred today in the gym over here. And, you know, I'm always putting myself in uncomfortable positions and that to get ready for this fight, you know, because he's an uncomfortable, awkward fighter, this Nelson, you know. And he can put you in a position where you won't want to carry on. And that's not me. You know, it wasn't me in the first fight. You know, and look what he's done since our first fight. The guy's won 2 world titles. He become fighter of the year, pound for pound #1, ever since our fight. And he's ran through them all. So, you know, a person like that, a fighter like that, needs to be taken with the utmost respect, you know, as far as how you are as a fighter. And I have done. You know, at the end of this, when this camp comes along, this fight, I'd have been in training camp for 5 months. And not once out of that 5 months have I disrespected the training. Have I had these days off where I shouldn't have been having the days off? I haven't performed, you know. I put everything into it. And what will be at the end of the day, because I treat the fighting as like, I have no excuses at the end of the day. You know, win, lose or draw, but I'm always coming for that win straight away.
Well, I love your mentality and I love your fighter IQ because generally most fighters won't take 3 weeks from their home country, travel to Albuquerque and do what you did. You did high elevation training, but you were also, you know, gone from home for that extended period of time. I won't, expose the location where you're at now, but I think it's a tremendous thing when fighters engage themselves like you do, because you could tell from the way you speak, your dedication and your perseverance, and now with your training, that you truly want to give LT one of the best fights the bare knuckle world has ever seen.
I want to put him out. I want to put him out of the game. I want to put him out. You know, you got to realize when we're in there fighting, it's either me or him. We've got a disagreement where he's, I'm looking on getting you out of there, and he's going to be thinking the same. You know, it's a massive fight. This is, you know, for me. You know, and I will leave these hands where they couldn't even get punched anymore to win this fight. You know what I mean? I don't look at it like, I'm ready to die. No, I'm not ready to die for a fight. You know, I'm ready to put the work in that I've been putting in. High level sparring partners that I've had, high-level boxers. Everyone that has sparred in this training camp has been an undefeated professional boxer. You know, so as far as the level's concerned, I'm there. You know, so yeah, and I can't wait.
You know, I love the respect that you gave to LT, but I also love your game plan. I've been in this industry almost my whole life. You know, not bare knuckle, but of course, combative sports.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a fighter so dedicated. You know, I follow you exclusively, and the dedication that you put behind your craft is tremendous because you take time away from family. You take time away from all aspects, and you even left your job to come to Albuquerque and weren't even getting paid. You know, so the beautiful thing about who you really are James the Truth Connelly. What you
Well,
see is what you get.
yeah, it's exactly that. You know, I'm a born and bred fighter. You know, and I don't need no one to tell me that. I already know that myself. You know, and the reason why I do the training so hard and I'm so dedicated with the training because because you have no right to win fights if you're not dedicated to the training. Yeah, put the work in, and you might not get the win, but you'll have no excuses. I'll never have no excuses for any of my fights, you know. And to be honest with you, man, this ain't gonna last forever. You know, the fighting is not gonna last forever, you know, and I have to strike the iron while it's hot, which I'm doing now. You know, when this is over, I get to look back and go, you know what, for that period of time when I was doing the bare knuckle, I never messed around. I never took anything for granted. I always put 100% in my training sessions. I always put myself in uncomfortable positions. And that's what I can tell myself when this is over, because one day it is going to be over, you know. You know, and I want to look back and go, I've done everything, and I am. And that's the reason why I will get up in the morning and I will go and do my run. And on an evening, I'll go and train again. Like, these are the reasons why, because I'm not going to look back and have regrets about this game. And I haven't, to be honest with you.
A freaking true professional, mate. You're just a
100%.
true professional. Robert Hernandez out of Colorado, a matchmaker out of Colorado, says, hello, everybody from Colorado. Have a blessed day. You have a blessed day too, brother. And then the one and only, the greatest cut women in the history of bare knuckle and many other sports, Miss Sammy Morris. I love it. Sammy, she pops on the show, and I just love what she does over there.
Where does bare knuckle, there's Sammy, trust me.
you know, I don't want to take away from the interview, but she is so stout. I was watching a video a few weeks back, and some man walked up and punched her right in the face, and Sammy gave him hell right back. Yeah, she just went right back at him.
No,
you're not going to mess with her.
With due respect to Sammy, man, she will fight you back. You know, she's not. Yeah, she ain't gonna let you put her hands on her and stuff like that. Like, she will fight you back.
Oh, I love that about her. And then
of course.
WBC Cares and WBC referee Mr. Stephen Blea says, "May the force be with you. Give him bloody hell, mate." He actually reffed the Julio Tenori Mark Irwin fight, and he just reffed the last card in Denver.
Respect, Stephen. Respect, Stephen.
And one of the greatest blokes in bare knuckle himself, just like you,
We'll get him to ref mine and LT. He's fighting LT not to throw any punches at me. Yeah, and we'll have you, Stephen. We'll have you.
Yeah, Marco Marvelous Martiniak says, "Best regards to everybody." James, good luck.
Respect, Marco.
You know, how does it make you feel? Because me and Steve have been doing the show. I do it primarily myself, but since I've been having surgery, Steve helps me out because he's a tremendous man.
I remember Steve, remember you give me your hat, the fighting fit hat?
Of course.
Yeah, I still got that, brother. I still got that, you know what I mean?
Thanks for your support.
I wish I knew he was on here, man. I would have put it on for you, you know what I mean? I would have brought it over and put it on, you know what I mean?
we were talking about before you came on the show, he was saying, man, he wore my hat. And it was
I got it. I remember he giving me, man. Thanks for that. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, when he came over here, Don, like it's when James says it's not a disadvantage for him to come fly here and fight. I think it is, because you know he sort of was like, you know, no one was talking to him, and I was like, you know, hey James, you know, I was like very open with him because you know I get how he would feel.
I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anyone.
Exactly.
Miami. It was in Miami, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't know no one. I had to go over there and get told I was fighting LT. And that's what showed me what fighter I am. I'm in Miami. I got there on a Tuesday. My trainer that I went out there with, his wife went into hospital, so he had to fly back from Miami all the way back to England. So I'm there on my own. I haven't got a corner team. I don't know no one. Mike Vasquez has let me go to go to his offices where he's got the Trigon in there. So I was training there every day. Like, I had no one, man. And that's really what I knew then. Because I said to myself, I said, if I get through this, nothing can ever bother me. And I did. I went out there and I ended up with the draw against Nelson. This was all on my own. I flew back the next day on my own. I was walking through the airport with black eyes and stuff. So, you know, I've been put in them positions before when it's not going my way. And I've made it go my way. So, yeah, good.
Yeah.
You know, before we go, he just fought last weekend. You know, tremendous young man, John Bernard. He's
Quality fighter.
Yeah,
He's a quality fighter as well, man. His technique's unreal, isn't it, man? Obviously, he never got the win against Gilotti, is that his name? But quality fighter, and obviously he moved up a weight. But respect John Bernard, man. Really appreciate the love, mate.
Yeah, I got to say, you know, that was a hell of a fight because a lot of people would have folded and dropped. And John Bernard, he didn't want to let his people down. He wanted to represent Hawaii. He wanted to give Gigliotti the best fight he could and the fans the best fight he could. And I tell you what, there's no quitting John Bernard. After that fight, you have nothing but
it was a tough fight.
from me.
It was a tough fight against a bigger man. It was bigger. They have weight classes for a reason. He was the bigger guy, and fuck me, man. That left hook that he took, man, he still got up off it, you know. It goes to show what fighters they are, you know. They're taking full-blown cracks on the jaw, and they're still getting up wanting to fight more, you know. You know what I mean? I would say that we're over here, we say there's something matter with you. You got something wrong in your head if you're doing this stuff, but I don't look at it like that, you know. It's a mentality, this bare knuckle is, and, you know, that's how it is.
Well, one thing I've noticed about you before I get to the rest of these comments, one thing I've noticed about you is, you know, a lot of fighters will play the hand game, but you truly use the hand game. And I like that because you smack a punch as it's coming. Your IQ is absolutely incredible. You duck at the right time. You pull back at the right time. I just love what you bring to the Trigon. The ability, whoever's coaching you and however you're taking it in, it's showing, mate. It's showing the world that you are a talented fighter and the ability is there. A lot of fighters work their whole freaking life to just get an inkling of an IQ. Bare knuckle has been around for a long time overseas, but not here. But your IQ is so high, bro. I cannot wait for this rematch. The world cannot wait for this rematch. You know, I'm just like you, man. I can't imagine how you feel coming to Albuquerque and having to wait till, you know, this month to fight. But
but it was good. Don, it was good over in Albuquerque, being in the Jackson Wink gym, meeting Holly Holm, Carlos Condit. I was with Cody East. I was doing sprints with him a couple of days before his fight. Like, don't get me wrong, the networking over there, being around people, being around the gyms, I took that all out of there, you know. I got to train in one of the most famous gyms in the world. I got to meet Greg Jackson, Michael Winklejohn. You know, I'm around all these people that I've only ever saw on TV. So, if take out the fight getting cancelled, I still got to experience that. You know, I was in Jackson Wink Gym every single day, training there every day. So, having pictures with him and getting to write my name on the wall and stuff like that. I mean, that's something I never thought I'd do as far as, like, you know, but I did get a lot out of that experience being in Albuquerque. It wasn't all doom and gloom. Obviously, the fight never happened, but I was happy to get that experience out of there, which was great, you know.
Well, you know, I used to be head of athlete development and all the agents and directors worldwide for Jackson Wink. I ran it for a year, you know, and it's a great place for fighters to learn and experience new things. And they offer so much with the gym where it's at and then the high elevation training. But Marvelous Martignac came back with another comment. And I really like his thought and premise, but I want to get yours. He says, James, last time you were in Croatia, you became a world champion. You should come over again, brother.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll be back over there. You got to understand it's like, how do I put it? Yeah, I went over there and I sparred with Marco. Me and Marco, I was over there for a week. I actually trained in Armas Gym out with Marco. Yeah, so I experienced it. But, you know, because my fights have been like, I'm always trying to go right now. I'm in Spain. My last training camp I was in Tenerife. The one before that I was in Egypt. The one before that I was in Slovenia. So I'm always trying to jump to different places, you know, and experience different places. But I'm not saying I will never go back to Croatia. I do want to go back there, but it's been so tight, all this training camp is. I ain't had no chance just to go there, to be honest with that. But I'll be back there, Marco. Don't you worry, mate.
And what made you pick Spain to train?
I'm literally in Fuerteventura now, which is there's a gym down the road called Bailey's Gym, which all the top pros go to and stuff like that. And we got the link up with there, so we just hide out a villa about 10 minutes away from the boxing gym, and we train twice a day. You know, I'm here with Adrian Sheeran, Limphy Valley Boxing Club, with a few of his amateurs here as well. So we've got about 8 of us now in this villa, training twice a day. You know, so I like to do these sort of things. Don't get me wrong, I like the heat. You know, I like being in the heat for a little bit. Because where I'm from in Birmingham, it's constantly raining all the time, and it's just wet and shit. You know what I mean? So over here, I'll get a little bit of heat, and then I'll go back and I'll have 11 days to the fight then. So as I say, I'm ready to go right now. I am.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
There's no more. What did I want out of me? Another run, another sprint session, another sparring session. I was ready weeks and weeks ago, you know, so I've had to just tick over and keep it going. Like, as I say, man, a training camp for me, like, it changes me as a person, but it doesn't make me a very nice person all the time. You know what I mean? I'm always ratty and irritable, and all I want to do is think about fighting and fighting and fighting. You know, I try and stay away from people and stuff like that. But yeah, I can't wait for this training camp to be over. You never mind the fight.
Yeah. Tell me about your gym.
Yeah, gym's going quality now. It's been open since 2019. Very good. How can I say it, man? Connelly's gyms went up and up over the years. You know, we've now got a barber shop in there. We've got a sports masseuse in there. We've got just a tattoo shop has just opened on March the 1st in there. So we're trying to make it a one-stop shop. You know, like, you can go to my gym coming from work, and you can leave there like you're ready to go up a night out of town. You know what I mean? So that's what we want it to be. Eventually, I want to own a leisure centre if we can ever get there. But yeah, it's going really well, mate. With a lot of hard work, and we're involved with the BKB and my brothers and that. It's gone up and up, which I'm grateful for.
What do you train mostly in the gym?
What do you mean?
MMA, boxing.
It's got the weights. It's got the weights and the boxing, the fitness. It's got all the
everything.
It's got the rowing machines. It's got the running machines. It's got all the weights, the squat racks and stuff like that. Like, it's a commercial gym more than just a fitness gym, if you know what I mean. Like, we have a lot of the weight trainers going there, and we have a lot of the fitness guys going there. So we have best of both worlds over there, to be honest.
You can get punched in the face and get a tattoo.
Exactly that. Exactly that. And you can come, as I say, you can come from work all dirty and all that. And you can leave there with a nice haircut and a tattoo and a massage. So, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's good. It's a great place to be. You know what I mean? Everyone enjoys it. You know, it's because of other people as well that have made the gym go up. You know, with their memberships and stuff like that. So I'm proud to have a gym.
That's and you got the belt hanging up there.
Yeah, I've got all my belts in there. I've got the British title, the world title, and the Police Gazette title in there. Yeah, they're in the case. They are in the gym. Yeah. Don't worry about that. They're locked away, so to speak.
Nice.
Yeah. I got a comment from John Bernard, and I kind of love this. He says, James is an animal. I hate to see this fight because I like both LT and James, but James is such a clean, bare-knuckle boxer. What would you like to say about that, champ?
Oh, great. Do you know what? Listen, I've always respected John Bernard. I've never met him personally, but when I first saw him and I saw his style, I thought, my God, he's going to be hard to beat. You know, then I saw the fight against him and McQueen. Good fight that was, man. I remember that first round when McQueen was going at him and that. And he shows what champion he is. Harold McQueen's a quality fighter as well. John Bernard, he goes down, he gets back up, he wins the fight, comes back and gets the weight above. These are the fighters that I like to be around, real fighters, you know. You know, I don't want to be a poster boy. I never got into this sport because I wanted to be known. I had a desire to fight in me, and I found it in this. And people like the John Bernards of the world and the Harold McQueens and stuff like that, Markin Jacks and stuff like that, they're quality fighters, you know, that are bringing the leveler and the game of bare knuckle to the next level. You know, it's not just about the brawling and just getting your head stuck in now. You're seeing quality shots, check hooks, roll unders, you know what I mean? You're seeing a lot more tactical, especially as well in a trigon. You know, you got to realise that we are still fighting in a trigon that's got 90% knockout ratio, and it's the smallest fighting combat service. And you're seeing quality boxing now happening in these things, you know. So and people like the Bernard, the McQueens, the Martin Jacks, they're all bringing it on to that next level, you know. And I'm happy to be part of it, you know. So yeah, I'm happy to be part of it with that comment. Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing about this sport, you know, in the UK, hell, you could throw a bunch of hellbaits together and you got to fight. You know, here in the United States, it hasn't been around quite as long. But what I like what the promotions from over the pond and here had brought together. I love how they correlated things because they have a vision. And the vision really surprised me because it happens so quickly. You look at fighters like you. You'll get fighters like LT, Gigliotti and Tenori, all these young ones coming into the industry, but have talent. Before a lot of times the sport just brings a debuter like BKFC used to do. They just would throw, somebody off the street. And I don't mean to knock the promotion. I'm just giving an
Yeah,
example.
yeah, of course, of course.
But what I love about this promotion, between everybody at the top, what they do is they put the quality. But I have not yet seen the quality of James the Truth Connelly, and that's what has us over on this side of the pond so freaking excited because we know it's not going to be a bum ass fight like Tank Davis the other night. See, the one thing, I come from boxing. I've been in boxing for 41 years. I don't love the sport anymore because it's become a sport of a bunch of crybabies, people that feel entitled. But it's made me love bare knuckle boxing. That's what more. It's made me appreciate the bare knuckle fighters that much more because they're not getting paid 20, $30 million, but they're going in there and they're putting in 10 times the work. What was it in the life of James Connelly that had you put down that stone to broaden your path to take your life on this trajectory, brother?
Well, I started boxing at age 10. I had like 64 amateur boxing fights, so I haven't just come out of nowhere and gone straight into.
Uh-oh.
64 amateur fights. That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah. Hopefully we get him back here. He is in Spain, so hopefully
Yeah.
we'll get him back on here before. Hey, Connelly, if you can hear. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear. I'm here. You can hear me. You just can't see me
I
because the
can.
lights gone.
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I say, I started boxing at age of 10. And really, I haven't just come out of nowhere and jumped into bare knuckle and I started having these fights. I come from pedigree, from doing that. And I look at the bare knuckle as a mentality. Actually, when I was an amateur boxer, I remember thinking to myself, what would it be like to have a fight without these gloves on? I kept on thinking that, and then eventually, when I got out of jail and stuff like that, I was looking on YouTube and I saw it on YouTube, the bare knuckle, and I couldn't believe that it was legal. I was actually said to him, "Is it legal? You can actually do that." And one of my people that I knew, Ricky Dalda, he was fighting. He was only one from Birmingham at the time. This was 7 years ago, and I kept on looking at him going, "How are you doing that?" So that's what I've done. I just phoned him up one day. I said, "Man, how did you get involved in that?" And he gave me Jim Freeman's number, and the rest is history, man. Like as I say, 2018 that was. And don't get me wrong. This is a sport. Like I always wanted to fight. I didn't. 7 years ago, there weren't all the little glitz and glamour that you might see now. They weren't all what you see now. It wasn't nothing like that when I first started. You know what I mean? And I think, and before that as well, 9 years before that, I think it was like the wedding marquee and stuff like that. Then we went to the O2, and now the Americans have got hold of it, so we're starting to go up and up. So, but yeah, I got in this when it was very bland, let's say. Now we're seeing rankings and all this sort of stuff. We've got the people going to America, people coming over here, and this is it. So I'm glad to be a part of the uprise of it, and be able to stay within it, because a lot of people that started off are not in the sport now because the levels went up, and the levels will go up again, So yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just getting started, man. I remember
Yeah.
when we first correlated, and then all the fights were 50-50, and I love it because, why do you want to go and watch a guy that's 9-0 fighting a debuter? That
Yeah.
you're not going to get nothing out of it. But this
Well,
fight right here,
since
go ahead.
Turkey got involved with it, we are the Riyadh season. I think we've saw more better fights through that. It's not just the main event that's earning all the money nowadays. The whole card is great. So I think he's shook up boxing a little bit, But yeah, I understand where you're on about these fights that we know the winner's going to be and stuff like that. I can't stand boxing like that. I was turning away from boxing because of that,
Well, it's like I dedicated my whole life to it, bro. And it's like I retired in 21 from being a photographer, and I wanted to go out the way I came in, and I finally did in 24.
Yeah.
But it's not the sport that I fell in love with because I'm from the golden era. And I wasn't even the biggest bare knuckle fan in the world, honestly. And Steve knows this. I liked it, but I really didn't. I wasn't going to jump out of my way for it. And then I saw Tenori Irwin won in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, good fight.
And that fight right there, because my brother came with me and his sister and my sister, and she goes, "I thought there would be more blood." I said, "Just wait." and, and then after the end of that fight, she was like, I said, "Yeah, you wanted blood. You got blood, didn't you?" And I became the biggest bare knuckle fan in the freaking world. It's because,
Yeah,
a lot of people, I'll say it right here. Mark knows it. I really didn't like Mark, Irwin, but I learned to
yeah,
respect him. Any man that goes into the Trigon and gets beat like that and is unwilling to give up his
yeah.
title, you got to respect him, whether you like him or not. You got to give him his
Exactly.
props,
This is
and
bare knuckle
that's what,
boxing. This is bare knuckle boxing. This isn't a liking contest. You know what I mean? Like, as a fighter, as long as you're getting what you need to get out of it, being like this is probably not one of the things you want to be. You be you, and if people like it, they like it. So yeah.
yeah.
I look at bare knuckles like we work for ourselves. Yeah, we fight for a company, but we work for ourselves, and whatever we want to do, we do it.
Yeah, I love that. And John Bernard came back and said, Denver's elevation ain't no joke either. So that even made that fight that much more wonderful. But now here we are.
Albuquerque was like that. I said when I walked into the Jackson Wink gym, it said warning high altitude training. Oh my god! The first time I done a bit, I threw a couple of punches on the pads down, yeah, and I swear, so I'm glad that I went over there a week before, 10 days before to get climatized because it's no joke. Seriously, we don't get that over here. Obviously we're in England. We don't get that in England. All this elevation and high altitude and stuff like that. So, but I experienced out there, so I understand where he's coming from when he says that because it's no joke, man.
Yeah, the only thing you get over in the UK is rain.
Yeah, rain. Rain.
Rain,
That's why I
rain,
got.
rain.
That's why I have to come to Spain to get some heat, man, out of this training camp because I've been rain for the past 5 months. So
James, let me ask you a question before I turn it back to Steve. Because I know it's late for you because it's almost 9 o'clock where you're at, almost 10 o'clock maybe. But we've seen one of the greatest aspects in Tenori and Irwin 1 and 2. We've seen one of the greatest aspects in your first fight with LT. I'm taking you to the night of the weigh-ins. You're face to face with LT Smash Nelson. What does James Connelly say? What does James Connelly do?
oh, listen, I'm not the smack talker. I don't need to say anything.
Yeah, which
Lost him again.
He prides himself.
Is someone in my way of becoming pound for pound and winning another?
Your Wi-Fi's killing us, mate.
Yeah, it's true, Don. I haven't heard him talk the smack that a lot of fighters talk.
He doesn't.
He's very respectful of his opponent, and yeah.
Yeah, well, LT's a dog. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, you can't mess around. And listen, I'm not the sort of guy who comes and going, I'm going to smash your face in. I know what's inside here, and I know what I'm trying to do. I'm not going to be cooking out with smack talk. I don't think they do. Do you know what? When I talk smack, it goes against me. If I say I'm going to do something, God goes, you're not going to do that. If I keep my mouth closed and I say quietly confident, then I can let it out and it comes out then. But when I'm out there and I'm going, I'm going to do this, you do this. It's like someone above, man, just says, no, you're not, James. Shut your mouth. So I tend to just keep my mouth closed when it comes to these things. It doesn't do me any justice being a smack talker or trying to run people down or say something to them to get inside their head. I don't do that. When the bell goes, I'm there to fight, you know what I mean? And I will fight. That's it. So all that smack talk, I stay away from, to be honest with you. I know controversial sells and all that, but not in my career.
Yeah, that's what's wonderful about you. And there's another fighter from over the pond that's just like you, and he's watching with us right now, and that's Liam Rocky Reese.
Great lad, Liam. Great fighter.
Yeah, I love that lad. He's just a tremendous young man. And the thing of it is this fight is going to take the bare knuckle boxing world by storm. It really is. I have never been so excited for a fight to happen. Bro, I've had surgery and I'm getting up doing these shows because I want to see this happen. I want to know the ins and outs because we've all been waiting for months. Mate, He is a professional boxer and a Hall of Famer, and one of the best photographers other than myself that I know. Nate Wren says Steve Rothman is the luckiest guy in the world because he's on a podcast with two greats in combat sports.
Thank you, Nate. Good man. I'll pay you later for that comment, mate.
Right?
I
I'll
give
pay him for
somebody
that too.
later.
Well, life is about supporting people, and you have a great support system over there, mate. I love what you bring. You brought to BKB. I love what you bring to the Trigon. I just love what you bring to the sport. Your IQ is second to none. Your heart, your compassion towards other people, it's no joke. But when you walk out and you step into the Trigon, you turn into the truth.
Yeah.
And that can't be denied. What you do in that Trigon is incredible. Take me to the first time that you were actually in the Trigon, brother. How hard was it for you to acclimate yourself to those corners and that small combat surface?
I seriously don't. I never looked at it like that. I never thought, right, I'm in here. I have to do this. I have to do this move. It's a fight. And when you understand about distance, and stuff like that, as far as boxing is concerned, then you're going to use the space that's in front of you. I'm the only person ever in the Trigon's history to get a draw. You know what I mean? Like, why? Because I'm using every inch of that ring. That's the first time I fought in it. But what I done when I went to Miami, Mike Vasquez, I went to his offices, you see. And next door to his offices, he had a Trigon in there. So I was in that Trigon for a week before I actually fought in the Trigon. Obviously doing my skipping in there, shadow boxing in there. Got a little feel for it. I actually remember thinking to myself, this is a whole lot bigger than I actually thought. It's a lot bigger than you think. Put it this way, if you've got no boxing ability, all you're going to do is something like that. He's going to go head to head with someone. But when you got boxing, you're going to use the space that you got, whether it's in a circle, a triangle, or a ring. You've got to use the space that you got. And how good of a technical boxer, let's say, or being technical in the boxing aspect of it, will move you around this Trigon a bit better, which that's done for me. If you ain't got no lateral movement or you got no footwork, all you're going to do in that Trigon, you're going to go head to head with someone and just start throwing punches. If you can move off and pivot here and slide off there and stuff like that, you'll do it, and that's what I do. So yeah, different strokes for different folks. I look at.
Well, James, we're gonna have to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna wrap things up and let you get champ because I know you got to get to bed.
Bare Knuckle Boxing returns to Wolverhampton, England on Saturday, March 22nd for BYB 38 Wolves Brawl 2, headlined by the long-awaited rematch between champion LT Smash Nelson and Birmingham's James the Truth Connelly for the BYB Super Middleweight Police Gazette Diamond Belt. Catch all the hard-hitting action live from the hangar. Visit BYBExtreme.com for tickets and information.
Man, I'm loving the new commercials and graphics, brother.
I'm sick.
Because you can.
I'm sick of my own face. I am. Every time I go on the internet every day, I see my face there with fucking LT Nelson. I'm sick to death of seeing my own face.
Yeah. Well, we don't have much longer, mate. We only have.
I don't mind. I'll do this at any time for the interview with you guys, man. I really appreciate the interviews, and obviously I like getting these. You ask me the right questions, you get the right answers, So.
Well, I can't tell the world what you think. I can ask you a question. I would rather have it formulated from your thoughts because you go on a lot of shows. Well, Connelly, what did you do? What did you do wrong your last fight? What do you fuck all that, mate. It's like I want to know who you are. And see that's the premise of my show. I don't even have to do this show because I'm accredited in so many things, but I love the fighters. I love what you guys bring to the sport because you could be like everybody else and go do an 8 to 5 job, sit on your ass and not accomplish anything. But you chose to be somebody that seeks to be better in life. You want more out of what God has given you on this green earth. And I respect that because any person that's willing to get up and get punched in the face for a living has my fucking respect because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it at all.
I don't even do it for a living. I've got a business. I've got my own gym, but I don't do this for a living. I do it because I have to fight. You know, there's something in me that the energy is fighting, you know, and I channel it good. I get paid for something that I used to get arrested for, Don, you know what I mean? So to me, I've turned a negative into a positive by doing this. You know, people are like, this is not my bread and butter. You know,
No.
to be honest with you, I'd fight bare knuckle for free, mate. I wouldn't even need to get paid. Obviously, I've got a good contract at the moment, but I'll do it for free. I'd literally, if I could channel with not getting in trouble in this outside world, and I could just have bare knuckle fights, that's what I'll do, man. So, yeah.
Hey, at least this show I didn't call you Connelly. You know,
Oh, fucking. Don't start that, Don, man. Not the Connelly, man. Please don't, man.
I'm not Connelly. I'm not going to do that. You know, the bad thing is because we before we went live, we were talking about that, you know, just so people know. And I said, I don't know why the frick everybody calls you Connelly. And because I know his name. And the first thing we do as soon as we go live, I call him Connelly. So I was like,
Connelly,
you know, what well, you know, you get fucked, you know, because you get nervous. Hey, I'm not going to lie. Even though I've been doing this show crap for almost 25 years, we still make mistakes. I'm not perfect, man. But
no problem, mate.
But it's the same way with a fighter. Nobody's perfect in life. But
well, Don, put it this way: if I have another interview with you and you call me Connelly, it's over. All right.
I'll never call you Connelly again.
Oh no, I think that's embedded. That's embedded in your head now. Connelly. Give me Connelly.
Well, no, because
my mum and dad would be going crazy if you called me Connelly. They'd be like, "What are they calling you Connelly for?"
Well, remember we talked about Mike Goldberg and Paulie Malignaggi in the situation, and then it just got freaking stuck in my head, mate. And I was like, what the hell? But, you know, before I pass it to Steve, I just want to say my final thoughts to you.
Yep.
You know, you've walked the walk of a true champion, and you have the heart of a warrior. And I'm honored that you take the time each and every time to work this out and come on the show and share yourself with my listeners in my show. What you've brought to this sport is exciting, exhilarating, and you've got everybody that really loves the sport on the edge of their seat. You know, mate, it's really not a question. It's more of a thank you. Thank you for stepping up and being the truth, because that's what this sport needs. They need a true aspect to show that what passion, perseverance, and determination truly means. And I'm not kissing your ass, mate. I just truly respect what you bring.
Thank you, big respect, man. I really appreciate you saying that to me. You know, I don't get into the sport or fighting the sport for that. But you know, if that make people feel and they can look at me like that in the sport, then I'm proud and I'm grateful that they do. You know, it's a tough sport. It is.
It's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. Steve,
I can't wait.
Go ahead and wrap. I can't wait either, brother. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, so I had another question for James. So,
hi, Steve.
So in boxing, you know, they're trying to make it a little bit more, not fair, but they want to make it so you know if you're losing the fight, you know, like each judge's scorecards. Wouldn't that be great if they post it and oh, I lost that round. Oh, I gotta do, you know, so it might change the dynamic of a fight. So the fight you were talking about that ended in a draw.
Yeah.
We're making the rules. What would you like to see happen?
Well, do you know what? As a fighter, would I like him to come up to me and tell me whether I've won or lost that round? I don't actually know, to be honest with you. He could, yeah, like.
Would you make another round? Would you want another round?
Well, if I knew that meant they were going to call mine and Nelson's last fight a draw, and we had a sudden death round, of course I would have took that round. You know, of course I would have took that round. Of course we want to win the fight, you know. Like, and to be honest with you, I personally won that fight as it stands anyway. So giving me the draw, I was already at a deficit, you know. But yeah, if you want to sudden death round, is the one really, and I think that would bring more excitement to it. You know what I mean? Like if it is actually a draw after fight, then put the sudden death round in, you know. And you tell two fighters that you winning this fight is all on this last round. What do you expect to see on that? You know what I mean? Like you're gonna see the ghosts and gods come out of him. You know what I mean? Like when it's just one round on that fight, you could see the mental go down and literally shy away from it and not put all the work in. You know, you're really putting people on a position there where it's fight or flight mode. You know what I mean? Like you're either going to run away or you're gonna put everything into it. So yeah, it's interesting. That is very interesting as far as like adding the extra sudden round, but knowing whether I'm winning rounds as the fight's going on, I don't really know that, to be honest with you. I sort of let my trainer. He'll go, right, you got that round. My trainer would never lie to me, We've gone, right, listen, you need to push on that. Yeah, he's always directing me. Like, if I've had a bad round, he'll let me know I've got a bad round, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going there and he's not always throwing flowers at me going, yeah, you done well when I've done wrong. So, I literally,
What did your trainer say when you had a draw?
Well, you got to remember that I never had a trainer. I had 3 American trainers.
Oh yeah, so your guy wasn't around.
Yeah, my guy wasn't there, telling me, James, listen, yeah, keep on throwing that left hook. You've knocked him down in the first round with that left hook. Keep on throwing that left hook. I was throwing everything other than the left hook, the right hands, the uppercuts. I went through every single shot you could freaking throw because I never had my own coach there. He weren't telling me, yo, James, stick to that or do that. Obviously, Tony Suarez, Freddie Delgado, and Ramses were my 3 cornermen for that fight. You know what I mean? Freddie Delgado's only losses were like to Tommy Hearns and James Tunney. They're legends of the boxing game. You know what I mean? He was in my corner doing the fight. Couldn't speak a word of English. You know what I mean? Like, and that was with the first Nelson fight. So yeah, I didn't have people giving me, my own people giving me the right information at that time that I think I would have needed. But thank you so much to them 3 American corner team, man, because they saved the day over there as far as me having a corner team because I had no one.
Is your fight you gonna have your guys at your fight?
100%, man. I got the whole team there. The fight's only 20 minutes from my house. You know what I mean? Like there's no 10-hour flights. There's no climatization. There's no getting used to all the altitude over there. I'm in Birmingham. I'm fighting near 20 minutes from my house. So yeah, like they're all there. As I say, I've done over 200 tickets so far. So it's going to be bumping in there. Baying crowds. You know what I mean? If the full Wales crowd was big, why don't you see this one? And Nelson's good at that. He went into Barry Jones's backyard and beat Barry, so he don't care. Nelson is a sort of fighter. You wake him up in the morning and tell him if he wants to fight, he will go and fight. You can wake him up in the middle of the night and go and tell him to fight, and he'll still go and fight. This is what we're dealing with here. He's like a Neanderthal when it comes to the fighting. You turn the key in his back, and he just goes. And it's up to me now to put a stop to him. He's beaten these British fighters, and it's up to me now, down to me, who I am as a fighter, to put a stop to him. And that's what I intend to do, March the 22nd.
Well, I love that you said that because, LT, you really got to beat the crap out of him, like you said, to wake him up. And that's just to get him started, and I've never really seen fighters like that in my career, but he's one individual that, he literally will take an ass beating just to wake up. And
I know, and it's not healthy, Don. That's not healthy to be like that as a fighter. It's not. You do not get paid to be tough. Being tough in this game, I used to think when I was a amateur boxer, being hard and being tough and that's you got to be the total opposite if you want to get anywhere in this game. It's a more of a sneaky game, deception sort of game than being brute force. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, and that the LT style that can last for a while, but it won't last forever. You know what I mean? So that's what I say. His style as a fighter is very unhealthy. You know what I mean? That's why, taking shots and stuff like that, I get no pride in taking shots. I don't even want to find out. I know I can take a shot, but I would never say, I can take a shot or all that. This is bare knuckle, man. There's no exception to getting knocked spark out in this game.
Yeah, it only takes one.
Yeah, he's a human being. He can get knocked out. You know what I mean? So you hit him in the right spot. The thing with LT is he's been much fitter than all his opponents, you see. So when they start going there and they notice that they can't knock him out with the headshots because his fitness is so high. The only reason you won't get sparked out like that quickly from the headshots is the fitness. If you're high-level fitness, bang, you're straight there again. And that's exactly what he is. So what he does, he goes to the people's bodies, doesn't he? So that's what he is. He tries to slows them down and then takes over them then. You know what I mean? So, but they still don't get away. It's like using your face as a punch bag is not the way to be. You know what I mean? So it's not healthy to have that sort of style. They don't last forever. And it's up to me now to come in and put a stop to it. With all due respect to him.
Yeah, I love the way that you eloquated it. It's the truth because I feel the same way. It's like I've watched him over and over again. You know, they have to beat the crap out of him to make him mad, and that can't last forever. You
Definitely
know,
not.
so
Definitely not.
and I think this honestly, I think this is going to be the biggest test of his whole career. Even though you guys have already fought and had a draw, I think you're two different opponents now. You're two different fighters. You're two different
Yeah.
men. You're not the same people that faced each other. The world is going to get one of the greatest opportunities to see one of the greatest bare knuckle fights in bare knuckle history with you. James, I'm so honored that you came on the show, mate.
Okay.
I know you got to get to bed. I'm going to let Steve wrap you up with your sponsors and things, but best of luck to you, man. And do what you do best, my brother. Show the United Kingdom who they represent and who they represent
Yeah.
well, brother.
That's
Here,
it. It's
here.
all on me now. It's all on me, man. No one can come and hold my hand. No one's coming to save me, and I don't need no one to give me a tap on my back. I'm going in there to fight, and it's all on me, and I can't wait. You know what I mean? Like this is it. This is what I wanted to do since I got into a sport, being big fights and people eyes on the sport, and here I am now. So it's about time to show face. You know.
Most definitely. Steve, wrap it up. Hey, mate,
Yeah.
do you, man. Show the
Thank you,
world.
Don. Big respect, brother. Thank you.
Same, Don. You know, I wish you luck. Main event,
Yeah.
200 tickets sold. They're coming out
Yeah.
to see you shine, man. So, you know,
Thank you, Steve.
get some.
Get it, brother. Hey, get some sleep.
Yeah, thank you, guys. All right, take care. I'll see you soon.
All right, James.
See you later, Steve. See you later, pal.
All right, yeah. So we're still live. So March 22nd, Saturday night, BKB 38.
I don't know what happened. You know, but see, right now we're under major thunderstorms. We're under really bad storms right now. I should have made you the co-chair. I don't know. It just said technical difficulties and booted me out of the studio. I didn't get to say goodbye to James, but did it? Oh, he's still here.
No worries.
Oh, no, he's gone. He's gone. You know, I apologize to the listeners. Did you get to say goodbye to him?
I got to say goodbye to him. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming on the show and spending some time with us. John Bernard, Marco. You know, I think this was the first time. I'm always used to watching Joe Brown. So he was watching us.
Yes.
That was pretty exciting. Thanks, Joe, for tuning in. Sammy, you know, Mighty Mouse.
Tommy Turner.
Nate, Tommy Turner, like, you know, I just appreciate everyone tuning in and checking us out. And, you know, this next show is going to be really nice. You know, it's going to be a brawl.
I'm elated, bro. I'm elated. Yeah, this is probably going to be one of the biggest cards. And now BKB history, you know, Tenori Irwin was in the biggest in BYB history. Now we got the biggest in BKB history. You know, it's amazing because they just get better. Jigliotti, Bernard, fight of the night, possibly could be fight of the year. You know, it just keeps growing and going at the right trajectory. And you know, one thing I got to say about Joe Brown. You know, Joe Brown and me, we've known each other for a minute. It didn't start out the right way, but Joe Brown is one of the most sincere, coolest dudes that I've ever met. And he has went above and beyond and helping me and creating some of these videos and getting some of these fighters on here. You know, all of you, Jim Freeman, Dove, Joe Brown, everybody across the pond, everybody over here, thank you for making these shows happen because, you know, whether it be 20 shows for BKB, 3 shows for BKB or whatever, whoever does them, you know, as long as we're getting the fighters out there and they're getting noticed and they're getting their due diligence, that's all that matters, man. At the end of the day, it's the fighter. It's not about us. It's about the relevance of the fighter. So with that being said, I want to thank all of you. We're going to run a commercial and then we're going to wrap things up. Steve, you got anything you want to add before we dip, bro?
No, just tune in. You know, it's on Vice TV now, so you can watch it on Vice. Don, and tell them how the other ways they can watch it.
The Fight Network, BN Sports, and also BKB TV in the UK. You have to double check on that one. I'm not 100% sure. You can get your tickets at BKB or byb.com and get your tickets. If you haven't got them, I don't think you're going to get into this event, but I would surely try, because this event is going to sell out. This card is stacked. It's a monster card. And here's your dates and times, and we'll come back and say goodbye, but here's a commercial for now.
Bare Knuckle Boxing returns to Wolverhampton, England on Saturday, March 22nd for BYB 38, Wolves Brawl 2. Headlined by the long-awaited rematch between champion LT Smash Nelson and Birmingham's James the Truth Connelly for the BYB Super Middleweight Police Gazette Diamond Belt. Catch all the hard-hitting action live from the hangar. Visit BYBExtreme.com for tickets and information.
Welcome to the Mighty Trigon, the smallest surface in combat sports. This isn't your average combat sport. Only 3 sides, only 3 corners, 60 degrees each. 90% of our fights end in a knockout. And it all goes down inside the Mighty Trigon. This is Bare Knuckle Boxing.
Well, Steve, I want to thank you for helping me out today. I love the commercials, man. I'm just a stickler for them. They're getting better and better and better. So with that being said, have a good day. God bless. Peace out from me. Steve, you got anything you want to say before we go?
No, check this. I was just reminded by that video. It's Wolves Brawl 2. So, we have our, Pembroke Pines, Brawl in the Pines title. So they have the because that the Wolverhampton, so
Wolverhampton too, and just like we got the Brawl at the Bay starting. So we got a lot of brawls coming on. So I love it, man. Things are growing. This year is going to be phenomenal for the promotions, worldwide, literally worldwide. 2 shows a month. It's going to be insane. It's nonstop, and it's only growing. From me to you, have a good day.
Yes,
God
sir.
bless.
Thank you.